this is going to be an episode of Peer-to-Peer Mental Health Matters. And I'm here with Ed Murphy, colleague of mine and a good coworker. How you been doing?
Thank you. You know, I've been keeping busy. I'm just trying to continue to learn and grow, and I've recently got a new job, so I'm adjusting to that. So
Yeah, that's awesome. More peer support, right? You're
yes,
doing
I'm
the
doing peer support
nice. Yeah, I
for the
miss
IEP support.
I miss doing the peer support. I do. I miss being employed with peer support, but I'm okay. I'm okay. But I was gonna figure, since you're advanced facilitator and I went through training with you, we could talk about WRAP, which is W.R.A.P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, not R.A.P music. So
You can rap some rap though.
actually, I do believe there's a YouTube video with something like that on it. I'll have to look it up.
Rapping a rap.
Yeah, where like they're rapping, they're doing a rap that has to do with rap, which
That's awesome. And rap can. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of adjust my camera so it does not keep moving around.
yeah, no, that's okay.
So yeah, I was just saying you can use rap for a wellness tool.
Yeah.
And express yourself. So no, that's perfect.
Yeah, I use music as a tool for a wellness tool. That's a good one. Um, just a heads up, see, so you were my trainer, so you're an advanced facilitator. Like, how was that? How did you become an advanced facilitator? I don't remember the whole story to this. Where'd you
Okay,
go?
so I became an advanced level facilitator. Well, actually, it was through an employee that I had that
Yeah,
you need 2 advanced levels to train the trainers, basically, for some
yeah.
in our
So to train someone like me to become a
too. So
facilitator.
yeah, so I took advantage of that just like that. I got into rap probably back in 2000. I became aware of rap probably in 2000. Probably, I'm trying to think there. Probably 2013 is probably when I first heard of
Well,
rap. I was working at a mental health facility. I wasn't a peer support specialist yet. I was just working there, and I first became aware of rap. So in my own recovery, I've done different workbooks and different kind of treatments. But what got me with rap is something that I can write for myself.
yeah.
I write it by myself, and at the end, if I need to, I can make the adjustments. For example, I had a workbook on PTSD. I got it done, and I've utilized that. But then when I went back, the writing was already there. It set my mind for what was there, and when I got to the end of the workbook, it was just kind of done. With rap, I discovered that it's ever changing because I'm changing. We change as people. So
Yeah.
it was something that I could make those adjustments to and keep working. And I really liked how it was self-driven as well. It's basically, I tell people, it's a reflection of who they are. So your rap, well, let's speak about my rap. My rap has changed several times. John, I heard you say music is a wellness tool of yours. Well, so music is a wellness tool of mine, but it's also a trigger of mine. It's also an early warning sign. It's also when things are breaking down. So it covers the whole entire rap.
Oh yeah.
It's something, but there's other things in my life, like per se fishing. At one time, I enjoyed fishing. At one time, fishing was on my list of triggers. Where I didn't want to be sitting by
Oh,
myself with that alone time with my thoughts running through my head. It was too quiet. It was too close to the water.
I
So,
can totally
but
understand that.
yeah, so now it's something that I truly would enjoy. Not that I have done it much. Not that I don't want to. Just trying to find the time. But I live a few blocks away from the river, so that shouldn't be an issue. I just gotta get motivated to do it.
Yeah, I'm a couple of miles away from, what is it, the Wapsie Pentagon, and way miles away from the Mississippi. So I don't have, well, there is a lake outside of DeWitt that you can, but it's not very well. No, that's the swimming lake. The one you can fish in is actually supposed to be very good. It's weird. There's two lakes with a highway in between them. Makes no sense. Um, yeah, I remember you did that at the Methodist church. You guys were doing a rap class there, because I remember going there after I had my surgery. I went there to you guys' rap class.
Yeah, so once I became a rap facilitator like you are right now, I utilized that in my place of employment at the time. I would do rap. A lot of times it was for the clients. Then I got offered to do a rap and do it, so I came out and did that.
Yeah.
And then that's where I met you, John, is
Yeah.
at the center there. I
At
started
that
volunteering
old
it.
place, at the old center, doing
Yep.
I came in for rap, and you're my favorite one to be one of the, because there's two people that did it, but the other one just whatever, he was annoying, but I liked you. You're the funnier one. You're the better one.
Thank you. It's kind of the yin and the yang, yeah. Different
I
personalities. Sometimes
really
it's
do
good.
think I do really think humor has a big thing with like making people more comfortable around people. I've always noticed it. Like if I can get myself laughing, or like the person around me to laugh, like I have no problem with like, oh, now we can interact with each other, because I know you got, otherwise I'm all tense and stuff. Um
100%.
yeah.
And rap is something that I can feel. I get into it. Like I'll almost start preaching. I'll start going off. I start feeling it, getting those vibes, and it really gets me moving, which is amazing because I get nervous going through a drive-through. And come on, I've been through a lot of damn drive-throughs. I'm telling you that. So the fact that I get up in front of a group of people, it's powerful. It's something that's pushed me outside of my comfort zone, but I really, really, truly enjoy doing rap now. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I liked it too. When after I became a facilitator going through your class, I worked at that wellness center, and I loved it, because it was a new thing every time to like, just it was different for me to actually get in front of people, because I don't do that very much, like get in front of a crowd and talk. Like you can go online and do it, do a speaker, whatever, all that. Yeah, like right in front of a crowd. That you're asking for something there. But I liked it because I had guests that were regulars that would come in with complete different stories and ideas and wellness tools and triggers and all kinds of stuff. Every single time we did it, we would repeat the class like every 8 weeks or something, and it was amazing what people would come up with. Some amazing wellness tools and stuff.
That's the thing now. Even um, I facilitated. I became a facilitator. I want to say back in 2015, uh, and I became an advanced level facilitator. I think in 2000. I want to say 19. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
think it
don't
was
know.
19, because I think that's, was it that summer, or I remember getting trained by you guys.
Yep. So it had to be around that time.
Yeah,
But that
because
being said, I love facilitating a seminar one or a seminar two because of what you just said. I learned so much different perspective from different people, and even facilitating it, it makes a difference. It seems like some of those raps came up at some rap trainings came up in times in my life where I really needed that reminder, that refresher. So it's been amazing in that way as well as kind of drawing me back in and getting me focused back on my plan because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
easy to stray away regardless if you're a facilitator or not. We're creatures of habit. It's and some of
yeah,
those habits aren't the best. And thinking about ways to break that, I always go to my go-to. Um, Sometimes I don't pull my rap out or utilize it, and it shows. So
I'm kind of horrible about that. Like it's always in my head, and like sometimes I really do need to just like have a booklet or something, like a little pocket thing, just take out and look at it, because I can remember a lot of the stuff that have to do like the wellness tools and stuff with that, but like there's plenty of times if I don't have something written in front of me, like my mind will wander, I'll forget about stuff. Plus things change, you know. I've had like wellness tools that I can't use now because they're like triggers, stuff like that. Um, so when you taught the rap class, I remember do you have any funny stories with rap? Because I remember in our class there was a part where you went off and you were teaching us about how rap is different than your normal support group, where like support groups usually have like a little bit of rules and stuff to them, like what you can say with language and things. And then I remember you going off talking to us and asking us about like what would you do if someone went up there and you asked like what was their wellness tool and someone straight up went masturbation. I remember
Sure,
that.
sure,
Yeah. And then like
sure.
you're trying to explain to us that like during rap, like even though like most people say, well, you don't put that up there, you don't say it. Like in a support group, you try and avoid that. But in rap, in the class, I remember you saying, no, you put that straight up there. That is their wellness tool. So you don't hold it back, and no one has to hold back what their wellness tools are, no matter how weird they are. But yeah, because I remember a class at the end of it, we took a picture and we all went masturbation.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things. During the training, we talk about respecting perspective because, like I said before, rap is for you and by you. So there's no really wrong to your rap. I can't tell you what is right or wrong. If masturbation is somebody's wellness tool, it's somebody's wellness tool.
I still think
Another
that's
good thing about
hilarious.
yeah, well, compared to other groups that I've done, a lot of times in a residential setting, people are forced to be there. That's part of what they do. Um, they get along. They try to find ways to irritate each other. So yeah, so um, when they were doing the coping skill alphabet, it was always masturbation. It's to irritate people or make people laugh, and it can be very uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, with rap is completely voluntary, and a lot of I have not had anybody throw out the word masturbation yet. Which, and if they did, I guess that's fine. You got to respect that perspective. But it's making fun during the training, like you said, having a little bit of fun and preparing yourself because when you work with people in any venue, you never know what you're going to experience. So having some kind of thought process of how do you handle this when things are going. But like I said, rap being voluntary, a lot of the times the groups people are there because they want to learn. And
Yep.
even if they say something like masturbation, they don't usually beat it into the ground to where everybody's distracted. That was probably the wrong choice of words right there. But it's a different thing because people are there to learn and they can walk out the door rather than being at a group setting. But again, like it's respecting what that person thinks because again, rap is what you need, what you identify with, how you identify with it. So during those trainings, it is fun. I do like to um, maybe ask a question to throw people off to realize there's things in place to help with that as well, just so they have a taste for it. But I can tell you, as far as being a rap facilitator, there's not many times where people have done exactly that. But it's always
Well,
good to talk about it
yeah,
and be
but
prepared.
it's funny. There's always fun. I have situations where I used to work where you wouldn't expect it, but it's funny. But like I do like how rap like you don't have to hold back really. I like that compared to like the support groups like you're talking about where there's kind of an ethical thing to it. But no, I have never had anybody go off and yell that either, but I just remember the story. So I thought that was a funny little story from the class.
It's fun for that class setting too, because I mean it's a week long training,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's a week long training.
sitting in
So,
there, get
but
finding finding something kind of just break up the the learning is fun to do.
well,
So
yeah. And then I had, and I think it was the first time we did it because the next time I renewed my facilitator certification, there was a classmate of mine that wasn't there. But I know the first time he had to do a presentation and um he, for everything, like for certain subjects or words, he had preps for them. So every time he'd say something, he'd be sitting there and he'd be talking about this like section he's supposed to speak out, because we all had a part of it we had to talk about. And
Right.
he had all these, like, out of a toolbox, all these objects that stood for specific things he was talking about. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
100%. He had like little prompts.
Yeah, like
I
prompts.
mean,
It was so funny because he didn't pick like your normal stuff. He picked like funny objects to go with what it said. So it was like you laughed the whole time, but it was serious conversation. It was a
that's
very
great, and that it's so much that would draw me into his training, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I've
no. If
seen
if
people
I
do
knew he
stuff.
was gonna do a class, I'd go to that because that's funny. Like you made it so it was quite interesting without the, because yeah, you have some things that are just like by the book and kind of can be boring, obviously. But that's just how things can be. But then you have other stuff where they get live like that.
And that's awesome. That's I've seen somebody do it out of they wrote their own rap using art and poetry. So
Nice.
the different parts of the rap, the early warning signs, when things are breaking down, triggers, that it was all done with art. And
Oh,
and
that's nice. I love that
that's the
stuff.
way they liked it. I never seen nothing like that. It was very, very cool. So yeah, using different little prompts. That's what's I think intimidating about rap. People do a rap and then they want to become a facilitator, and then it's their turn to stand up um, in front of the crowd and do it. But it is, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, I guess. But um, it's trained in a way to let you be you, and I think that helps with that. I don't know. For me, anyway, it helped with being comfortable because I like
Yeah.
to use humor and I like to um, be able to be myself, and I
Well,
feel like it did that.
I remember when I had to do the, like, you go up there solo. So that guy had done the preps and stuff and it was funny. But then I went up there and like I had written out a whole script. I was supposed to just go right by the script. That was going to be the answer to the whole thing. And then like the minute I get like two sentences in, all of a sudden, like I'm like, nah, I'm throwing this away. And I just go like solo, taking little parts out of it, but the rest of it was all just right out of my head at the moment. Like no preparation, no like, because you just get comfortable. You just do what you're comfortable with. And I liked it. I thought it was very cool.
And rap, for the most part, is sharing about yourself, and that's all stuff you know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it helps people to write it down and they have it, but for the most part, it's sharing you. It's like being a peer support specialist, right? It's sharing little tiny stories at the right time. With my, I can really connect that with rap to where, yeah, you get out there and you share your personal experience, or you share a little bit of how rap, because that's what I do. I want to share what rap has honestly done for me. I'm not trying to sell. It's not an infomercial. It's not anything else. I get out there and try to show people um, how this tool can definitely be part of recovery. And the best way to do that is to be honest and open about that. So getting out there and scripting that, it can be hard for me. I'm the same as you. I've tried it before, but getting out there and just kind of opening it up and speaking from the heart, and people see that, right? The people in the class are like, "Wow, this person's authentic. This is they are
Yeah.
talking from their heart." And maybe this could be a tool that can do the same for me. But
Yeah.
there's
It's
people who
it's
don't like rap. I mean, I'm not saying rap is a cure. It's not like the magic pill, but it's definitely for me. It's great. It helps with structure. It helps with um, I don't know, just being self-aware. And I think that to me is where recovery starts, regardless if you're using rap or not. You have to. For me, I had to identify. Well, it's the key concepts, right?
yep.
I had to have that hope that I had to have. I had to educate myself on what it was. I had to take that personal responsibility. There was all that stuff that plays, and that plays in my life no matter what. So
Well,
it's
yeah. I mean, a lot of the things that they point out in rap, like you're talking about the key concepts and the wellness tools and all this other stuff. all that kind of stuff is all already in your life pretty much. You just sometimes you don't even realize it. Like when like we talked about early warning signs, or we talked about wellness tools and triggers and all that stuff. Like it would amaze you after you put your mind to it on like that you really do have these things already there. You just needed to identify them. Like these were things that caused something. These were signs of something. These were things you could do to work with it. It was amazing with all that kind of stuff that it was really there, but you didn't know about it till you actually looked, opened your eyes.
I always tell people it's like you didn't make it this far in your life without being able to identify things, right? You didn't make it this far in your life without using wellness tools. Now using R.A.P, when you get to understand it, like you said, you have a place to categorize it because you have all that stuff. People have had, like you say, wellness tools. A lot of times it's referred to as coping skills. Now, wellness tools and coping skills can be looked at a little bit different, but in reality, what they're for is the same. The only difference is wellness is usually for your wellness. So if a coping skill is getting up and smoking crack, a wellness tool might not be getting up, but at the same time, it's your R.A.P. If that's what you need to do to stay well, I mean, that's what you do. So
I
ahead,
actually did an article on my website about the difference between wellness tools and coping skills, and that was one of the subjects was how wellness tools are for the good of you and stuff like that, and then you have coping skills that can be literally anything, but at the same time wellness tools, it's what's well for you. It's not just because it's a positive thing, it's positive for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what it's about right there. So
yeah, I did a whole article on that on my web blog about that, just because I thought it was an interesting subject, which it is. It's a good subject.
and it's very hard for some people to grasp too, that concept. Anyway, for me, when I first I became certified in Illinois, and they had trainings like every 3 months, and I'd go down there. There were great trainings as well, but they would always have this conversation between coping skills and wellness tools. And then you try to grasp the concept of R.A.P, where it's for you and by you, so there's no real rules. So there's a what? And as far as like it stated years ago in the red book that smoking cigarettes was a coping skill, not a wellness tool. Now in the non-red book, it states that smoking cigarettes are a wellness tool.
Well,
And
yeah, because like you said, it's what's actually good for you, not technically what everybody else thinks good. So like cigarettes, yeah, you talk to a lot of people and they'd say it's, oh, well, that's not healthy or that's not good for you. But then what happens if that is exactly what you need to do when you have something stressful go on in a trauma? You just need to do that to calm down as your coping skill or wellness tool. I mean,
exactly. So I mean that's awesome that you did an article on that. That's a tough. I mean, for some people it's really easy. Other people it's not so easy. And having tools anyway, being able to find something to relieve some of that pressure, sometimes in our life is important. So
yeah.
I'm not knocking anything.
Yeah. And like peer support, like we work with people and stuff, and like I guess I don't know if it's just in Iowa or if it's with the states or whatever, but I know peer support R.A.P is supposed to be kind of like a requirement with it, but like the states don't follow through with it, I think. Is that correct? Or am I just wandering off?
I don't. I don't think that it's a requirement. I know in the training they kind of teach a little bit about R.A.P. They kind of change it up, the name of it.
Well, they gave it a different name in training. I remember that. There was a different name for R.A.P in training because they didn't want to call it that because of copyrights. But I remember it in my manual, which I have somewhere around here, way over there. Yeah, over there on my shelf, I have a gigantic. But yeah, in peer training, they pointed out there was a whole thing that pretty much, since I had gone to your R.A.P at the center, and then I did peer support training like 6 months later, I could tell like how they were pretty much the same thing, just named different.
It should never As being an advanced level facilitator and being a peer support specialist, RAP should be voluntary always, 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 always. No one should be forced to do RAP. I know that there's a lot of mental health courts and drug courts that want to make RAP mandatory.
Yeah.
Again, that is ridiculous. I don't agree with that. RAP should, that's what makes anything, that's what makes recovery good, for me anyway. If someone's telling me what to do, I don't know if that's going to help me as much as being able to learn and decide and grow on my own. That's where it's at. So, but I do see how the peer support, being a peer support, using RAP as a tool to share with others if they choose to, right? So if they want to write a RAP, that's awesome. But if they want to write a RAP, I can still focus on the things that have helped me in my recovery. That's the hope. That's the education. That's the personal responsibility, right? That's
Yep.
those are some of the things. Finding good support is huge, and I'm a supporter myself. So um, I feel that they intertwine. What
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me a good peer support specialist is that ability to identify those things, to have those categories, to keep myself healthy, right? To have those good wellness tools. So as I go work day to day and day, listening to people that are in horrible spots, I don't allow that to absorb into myself and crush me. So rap is huge part of my recovery. It's a huge part of my profession, but I by no means ever will or think it's good to force rap upon anybody.
No, I think that when they force things onto you, it's just like kind of like recovery altogether from about anything, from smoking to, quitting smoking to drinking, all that stuff. It's not going to happen unless you want it to happen. And, like if you're forced to do a thing for wellness tools, that's not the same as if you did it yourself. Like if you do it yourself, then there's a whole different story. That's more energy and connection to you about it. And it's, that means you're at the place to do it. But like if the court forces you to do something, that doesn't usually work out very well with that kind of stuff.
Right. Most definitely. And like I've had people come to a rap because they're court ordered and they're like, I have to be here. I'm like, well, do you want to participate? And they're like, no. So I'm like, listen, if I gotta sign your paper and you go in the corner and you draw pictures or whatever, that's what you do, man. Like I'm not gonna judge. At the end, I'll sign your paper because again, I'm not gonna force that, and that's the way it's wrote anyhow. Like
Yeah, and when you get
values,
trained, they point that out, that you don't force
values are
people to do
everything,
it,
bro.
and it's choices. It's all choices. It's not requirements or forcement or anything.
I can see because some of the results of people that you decide to use to rap, why they would want to force that upon people. Why they would want to. I can see that because there's been a lot of positive results with people. And that self-awareness is amazing. Like some of the things I discovered and continue to discover was just paying attention to what I do. Like I said, people are creatures of habit. There were so many things. So part of writing your rap is finding out what your daily maintenance plan, but what you do daily. There's a point what you do, and there were several things I did and do every day that I had no idea. And it can be a little as stepping out on my porch and just kind of breathing in and looking around and taking that second just to be in the here and now,
Yep.
to different ways that I go to work and times like one I always use, I pass a cemetery where a lot of, I used to pass a cemetery where a lot of my relatives are. And I take that time to kind of meditate, pray, whatever, just take a second. And those were things that I did that I was not even aware that I did. So
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff you're not aware of. So
it,
we time's cutting down. The timer's going off for me.
no,
Yeah, I didn't realize there was one up here on the screen. It
I don't
must be
see
for
it.
me because I'm the host.
Yep, yep, I don't see anything.
Yeah, no, it came up on a visual like to go, hey, you got 10 minutes. And then it finally showed up on top that I didn't realize it, but it's going 8 minutes and counting down. I'm like, wow, we've talked. Like, I
Yeah, that
didn't
was
realize
fast.
we've been talking this much.
It didn't help that I couldn't get on there. I mean, it
Well,
hit
no,
the end
but
factor.
you only have I only get like 40 minutes altogether, and like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, because this is free. This is a free, well, stuff. So, and don't worry about us talking like this. I can edit this out.
Sure, sure.
But I was gonna go over one last thing. So for the advanced facilitator training, um, where'd you do that at? Because I know here in Iowa we have advanced facilitators, so you can get trained in Iowa and Illinois and stuff like that. So you don't have to go anywhere. But for advanced facilitator to be the one that teaches like people like me to be a facilitator, where's that usually taught at, or where's that at?
Sure. And I'm sorry, I didn't answer that question thoroughly. So, to become an advanced level facilitator, you have to have I believe it's to teach, facilitate like 15 different trainings and have like a
Yeah,
total of 75, whatever. But in order to get that here, I went to Virginia when I became an advanced level facilitator. And then the second time I went out to Pittsburgh. Um, so the East Coast and the West Coast have got it going on. I'm telling you that right now. Iowa's behind times. It's a whole
no,
pull yourself up by the
I'm not
bootstraps.
gonna I'm not gonna get too political, but Iowa's been behind on time for like decades. According
Sure,
to
sure.
my old man used to say that kind of stuff constantly. That oh yeah, in Iowa we used to da da da. I was like, but wasn't that modern times when that was something like everybody did? He's like, well, it's Iowa, so of course not.
Yeah, that is
I
yeah,
just thought that was always funny with him. He was
yeah.
hilarious about that kind of stuff. All right. Well,
It seems like the coast have it more. So I know that the Copeland Center can't speak. The Copeland Center also offers classes out in California.
oh, nice.
I've done only two
There'd
of
be a
these
reason to
shows
go on
so far.
vacation. Go to California. Go to class out there. Stay out there for like a week after class. There's my
Yeah, let's
vacation.
do it after class. Those advanced level classes are from sun up to sundown. They are intense, but I
Yeah.
dig it. I
Oh
dig
yeah.
it.
No, when I went to peer support training, we were there the whole day, like 8 hours, with like 15 minutes in between every hour. So that adds up. But even though like it was a lot of knowledge, my mind kind of was pounding and all that kind of stuff, I still loved learning. I still loved the education I got out of it and all this stuff. And I use that education nowadays. So I liked it when I did the RAP training and learned how to be a facilitator, or when I was just doing it with someone as the facilitator, you guys, when you were teaching it. I liked it. That's why I
Yeah,
kept coming back to class. It was intriguing to me, something to keep learning.
that's the way I feel too. Facilitating, I learn something new every single time. So my
Nice.
favorite thing, if I can say real quick, is my favorite thing is when I go and I facilitate. I usually ask what they hope to get out of it, and I always get the response, "Well, I'm going to learn this for my clients, or I'm going to learn this for the patients, or I'm going to learn this or that for someone else." And my favorite part, I think, is watching people um, start to use that and see how much it affects them, how much it's a tool for them. So again, not only they're helping their clients or their guests or whatever patients, it's fun to watch them see how much it can help them. I think
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts is because they start making that connection. It's like, wow, it's not only a great tool for others, it's a great tool for me.
You can talk for a little bit if you want to. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I'm going to let you go because we're running out of time, but thank you for
All
the
right.
interview. I appreciate it. Uh,
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it too. That was fast time. So